Hello everyone, this is Venom, and we are back with another Dragon's Dogma 2 video. Today we're talking dragons. Now, I did get some requests on the last video I put out talking about the Dragonforged and all the cool stuff that you can actually do with him in the New Game Plus. Not only the armor you can get from him, all that awesome dragon armor, but all the different ways you can boost your vocations. You can cut some of the skill stamina usage in half, you can get bonus stats. Go and check out the video if you haven't already, I'll link it down below. But today, I'm going to go ahead and show you where a few dragons spawn at. Now, there are more dragons than this. There are about 6 or 7 that do respawn. It is a big map, and traveling is kind of a bitch, so I did not get to all of them. They don't respawn all the time either. I went to a couple spots, they weren't there. Some don't necessarily spawn until you maybe get later on in the game, I'm not sure. But these are some that I definitely did spot today. I went out and checked them, and they do respawn. So you're going to be good to go to farm these. Now, I did a couple things with this. Not only did I not only am I going to show you the build I use or kind of tell you what I use to farm this, but I'm going to tell you the experiment I did later on the third dragon I'm going to show here. Now, first off, if you're going to go ahead and farm these dragons, they can go ahead and drop additional worm life crystals if you use the bump and lift from the thief. Bump and lift is a core skill from the thief. It has a low success rate, but by using carve, your basic attack with the thief, you actually have a chance to get the dragon to drop either worm life crystals or dragon scales. And the dragon scales, of course, are used for that dragon armor to upgrade it. So you're going to need both of those. So you're going to need to farm a lot of dragons. Now, unfortunately, I did not get a ton of worm life scales doing this. There were some extras, but I was not getting nearly as many as I would hope. Now, you're not going to get as many worm life crystals killing these dragons as you do in the true endgame. I'm not going to say I'm going to get in the true endgame. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but you're not going to get nearly as many. But you don't want to have to get to the true endgame to farm these either, so you're going to want to go ahead and just farm these dragons. I was getting anywhere between 5 to 10 from the drops. It is a random chance, obviously. I think Carve's only got about a 2% chance to drop either the crystals or the scale. And I was getting anywhere between, I was getting roughly about 15 to 20 worm crystal drops from the dragon. So on a good run, I was getting maybe about 30 to 40 crystals. I'd say on an absolutely great run, I'd probably get about 40 crystals. Well, actually, it's about 25 to 40 crystals. Now, why am I saying all this? Because, again, you're going to need those worm life crystals for all the awesome stuff you can do at the Dragonforge. The weapons all cost 110 crystals each. Most of the upgrades for evocations cost about 20. And then the armor is going to go anywhere from, like, 20 to 70, depending on the piece. So, you're going to get a lot of these crystals. Now, in the background, you can see I'm currently using my thief. I'm using just carb because I'm using bump and lift, trying to get those worm life crystals to drop. I think when I started off this fight, I just had 5 that were on me. I think by the end of it, let me go ahead and scroll to the end, see how many I had. Here we go. By the end, I had 26 by the time I was done. That includes the drops and what I got from the bump and lift. Let's see if I can find the bump and lift here. Here's the pickups. Here we go. 6, 5. So I got 11 from the drops, I got 1 dragon scale, so that's 11, so that's 16, so that means I got 10. I got 10 total to drop from bump and lift when I was doing this. And you will see it pop up on screen when bump and lift actually works too. So that's 1 dragon location. Let me show you on the map here exactly where it's at. This first one right here, here we go. There we go, we got Harp Village right there, we got the main city, Harp Village, then we got, right over the river right there. We got the checkpoint town, so we are right, let me just get back a bit. Right here, okay? We're just north of this cave here. So that's going to be the first place that you're going to want to go ahead and put down a marker for that dragon. You can see, the landmarks around there just in case you have trouble seeing it. You got the little swirl there with the roads. It shouldn't be too hard to find. And right here where my mouse pointer is at is where I got the first pointer for the dragon. So that's the first one. I got, like I said, I ended up getting 21 crystals of what it was total. 21 crystals from that encounter. And, not too bad. Now, I did notice something when I did an experiment when I did the third dragon, and I'm going to show you that one here in a minute, but let me show you the second dragon first. Okay, so here's the second dragon, and this one's right by the ancient battlegrounds. It's going to be really far north. Give me just a second there. There we go. We are north of the border, or the checkpoint town right now. All the way north here, you got a cave right here. Go ahead and put your marker. I went ahead and set it down. And this one was actually pretty cool because I actually got to see a fight. Here we go. There we go. There's a checkpoint town right there, and then here is the cave. And when I got here, I actually saw the dragon fighting an ogre. That was actually pretty damn cool. So I actually stood back and kind of let them fight for a second, and then I went in and killed them both. I used my Medusa bow to finish off, or try to finish off the Ogre to get some additional experience, but then I went ahead and went in. Now, before I get to the experiment, I ran on the fourth one, and this is going to be very important for the the drops too. I'm not trying to matter of fact, I'm going to get to that first. I'm going to tell you what the build is. So, but that's the second dragon I found. Again, this one does respawn, so it's right by the checkpoint town. You can obviously get there by cart, so you can get there pretty easily. Okay, so this is the third dragon. Right here is where you unlock the Trickster, and this is just south of that. So right there is a Trickster that where you're going to find that Mist Lady. Just go down that road, go south. It's right there on the river. That's where you're going to find the third dragon. So again, that's a pretty easy one to get to. There's a dragon right there. Pretty easy one to get to. Now, I'm going to explain what's going on in this one. I'm going to explain the experiment I ended up running at the end. So, along with bump and lift, and again, use your bump and lift to try to get as many attacks on as possible to get some drops. But along with the bump and lift, I was a little curious to see if hitting the weak spot would give us more crystals, or if hitting the regular spots would get more. I did not see any significant difference in that. The only difference was killing the weak spot would kill the dragon quicker, so you had less chances to get bump and lift to actually proc. I think bump and lift only has like a 2% chance. However, once you kill the dragon, and I did this on accident, I decided to go ahead and see if it would do anything. I'll go ahead and scroll forward here real quick. You can see while I start loading and reloading the game. I decided to go ahead and I think I started right here. Maybe back a little bit more. So I go ahead and loot the dragon. He had some crystals. I think he had, here we go. There we go. He had 3 sets of 5 crystals, and he had dropped one over there somehow. So I decided to go ahead and reload the game to see if he would have any different drops when I picked him up again. So I did go ahead and reload. Let me skip ahead to the reload. I did go ahead and reload. So the first time he dropped 3 different sets of 5 Worm Life crystals. I reloaded from the last checkpoint, which is right after I killed him, but before I actually looted him. Ignore me in the background, listen to corn. And this time, I got 5 Worm Life crystals and 2 dragon scales. So the actual drops changed when I did the reload. So I had not, as soon as you kill the dragon, I saved the game. Or the game saved. I forgot if I saved it or it saved itself, but the game was saved. So when I reloaded, the drops changed. So I went in and checked it a few more times, and every time I reloaded it, the drops were different. There we go, here's another one. A dragon scale, and Worm Life crystal. So again, different drops that time. 2 dragon scales and the Worm Life crystals. Now there was a Worm Life crystal across the river for some reason. I don't know why. I did check it every time. It was only just that singular Worm Life crystal, so I don't know what that was about. But every single time I reloaded this, I had a different set of drops on here. So I think the most crystals I ended up getting, here we go, dragon scale, Worm Life crystals, and then dragon scale. I think the most I ended up getting, I wanted to see if I would get any more than 5 Worm Life crystals, and on one I got 2 5s and I got a 6. There we go, that's the one. I got 2 sets of 5 and 1 set of 6. So, save before you loot your dragon if you want to get, if you want to focus on dragon scales or crystals. Whatever one you want to get, save before you loot it, and then make sure you go ahead and get the loot you want. If you don't like it, reload your game from the last save and go ahead and keep reloading and looting them until you get exactly what it is you want. So, now, the ideal build and the ideal pawn setup would be this. It would be using your Warfarer with a Mirror Shield, and then using the weakest set of thief knives you can get, and then continuously try to carve the dragon and try to proc bump and lift, and don't hit the weak spot. And your pawns, you would ideally have them all, and I know this is not going to be anywhere easily possibly done, but all your pawns you would want to have just really weak thief weapons, and no skills, so that they would just continuously try to use carve and bump and lift on this thing. Basically, you want to keep trying to use bump and lift as many times as possible. If you use your mirror shield, right, you do not have to worry about you or any of your pawns dying, just because of the fact that you can basically continuously shield over and over again and never die. So you don't have to worry about healing. I mean, yeah, if they die, you can still pick them up, but that would be the ideal team composition. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get, 2 other pawns that have that exact setup. So if you want to go ahead and just bring your 1 pawn with you, and then make sure they don't have any skills, they just have a weak set of thief knives, do the same thing for yourself. Put a really weak set of thief knives on. I did not run that. I'm going to do that later on to see if it's even worth doing, or if it's going to be better to just wait. But it seems like it would be worth actually doing. If you're getting 5 and 10, maybe every 5 minutes to drop versus having to reload and, get those dragons respawn, it should be worth it. I'm going to go in and try to farm some tonight and try to do the actual setup with my pawn, with just both of us having extremely weak thief tools, just continuously putting my shield up so that the dragon can't hurt us, and then us both using carve over and over again, trying to see exactly what drops we can get out of him. Now, he does drop both Wormlife Crystals and Dragon Scales, so you're not necessarily going to get a Dragon or Wormlife Crystals on every drop. You may get some Dragon Scales, but they're going to need those for your Dragon weapons and armor anyway. So yeah, that's going to do it for today, guys. Like I said, I really enjoyed doing this one. There are more dragons. I'll try to get to them as well later on. There's a lot of them. It's just really hard getting around the map to show them all. Yeah, that'll do it. Thank you all for coming by. If you liked what you saw, please like it. If you loved it, sub. And I will see you guys on the next video.